G'day and welcome back to part 2 of our adventures here in the Fitzgerald River National Park. And in this episode we'll show you a little bit more about what there is to do at the eastern end of the Fitzgerald River National Park. It's a massive national park, so they kind of break it in two, east and west, and we're looking after the eastern end. A few of the beaches and a few of the walks that you can do here. And I'll also show you a little bit about the wildlife that we encounter here. The Fitzgerald River National Park is a biodiversity hotspot for flora and fauna, and if you're into your plants, this is an amazing place, and especially during the wildflower season we're told that it is absolutely spectacular here, and that'll be through September, October. So we're a little bit late now, we're end of January, so there's still a lot of flowers around, but apparently September, October it is just beautiful here. But anyway, I'll show you a few of the critters that we've encountered while we've been here. Some of them are good, some of them not so good. So I hope you enjoy part 2 of Fitzgerald River National Park.
Howdy.
This morning we're just come down for a swim at East Miley Beach. So Miley Beach is a very long beach, and you can get to the eastern end and the western end for a swim, but we're down at the eastern end because we think that's a little bit more sheltered. Throw the thongs away. But have a look at this beach. It is just beautiful. And the amazing thing is, there's not a soul down here. It's incredible. Anyway, we'll go and have a quick dip. I had a comment come in from one of our viewers on YouTube, Mick. G'day Mick. And Mick was asking us whether or not we're worried about snakes when we're doing our hikes. Now, snakes are a given in Western Australia. Chances are you're going to see them. And there's only one way to deal with snakes, and it's a pretty simple thing to do. You just step back and let them go, and they'll scurry off into the bush. They're generally not aggressive, so as long as you're not threatening to them or getting them cornered, the snakes will just slither away and you don't need to worry about them. But yes, we see a lot of snakes. In fact, while we've been here at the 4 Mile campground, we've had jugites, crown snakes, what else? Tiger snake, and probably the one that we've seen more than anything is the southwest coastal python. And we had one of those through our camp a couple of times, in fact, and beautiful looking snake. So we do carry with us a first aid kit when we're hiking, and the first aid kit does have a snake bite kit incorporated into it. That's just a special bandage that's marked so you can see the tension is correct while you're actually putting it on. So we take a few precautions. The other thing is that we always go hiking with our walking poles, and they're just another line of defense. So if you end up seeing a snake and it is being a bit aggressive, at least you've got something you can put between you and the snake. Not that you want to stir them up. So as I said, the best course of action is just step back and just let them slither away. But thanks for the comment, Mick. It's a very valid point. There's not much you can do about snakes. Like I said, you just be aware that they are around without a shadow of a doubt. Chances are you're going to see them. Make sure you're prepared with a first aid kit and a snake bite kit, and just give them space. Give them space, they'll disappear and leave you alone. So we're at West Beach this morning. We thought we'd come down early and try and get out of the wind, but it beat us. The ever-present easterly breeze on this southern stretch of coast. But West Beach is a really lovely little beach. There's a nice little lagoon just here, and I'm going to jump in and have a swim in very shortly. It's a really pretty little spot. There's also some gorgeous rocks up here as well. And I know a lot of you don't think rocks are gorgeous, but these are. So I'm going to go up and see if I can get a photo. So these are Instagram worthy rocks, these. Just look at the textures. I don't know if it comes out in the video, but the textures and the shapes in these rocks are just beautiful. There's a little cove around the corner here. Today we're going to try and do a walk to Whalebone Beach, which is about 4 or 5k one way, but this is the Hammersley Inlet, or a very small part of it, and we're heading for the beach just up here. It's a rugged old beach. This is the beach just at the opening to the Hammersley Inlet, looking east. Hopefully we're going the right way. There's a signpost up here, so fingers crossed that's what we're looking for. Some stunning rock pools just here, just in behind the rocks. Check these out. Well, we're lost. That didn't take long. Not exactly sure where the trail is. So the signage is worse than terrible, but we might have to backtrack to see if we can find the trail. Great news, we found the track. Looks like we're on course. There's a sign up in the bush just up here that points up to the hill. We're hoping that's the track.
How beautiful.
It's just stunning, absolutely beautiful. Tamala Cast Lookout, just up here. So these are the signs, by the way, that mark the trail. So it's a hakea, because it's called the Hakea Trail, and the entire trail itself is about 34 kilometres one way. So it runs basically from where we started at the Hammersley Inlet back down towards Quinon Point, I think it's called. So about 34k, and there's a couple of huts on the way that you can overnight in. I'm not sure what sort of facilities are there, but one of them's up here at Whalebone Beach, apparently. So, but we're not going to go that far today. We're just going to get to the beach, have a quick look, maybe a swim, and then a picnic. Really looking forward to the picnic. You did bring the picnic, didn't you?
Carrots.
What?
We've got carrots.
And the rest of the picnic?
And an orange.
The look of disappointment. Carrots and an orange. That's not a picnic. Oops, some spider webs. Well, we made it to Whalebone Beach. Kangaroos down there.
Oh yeah.
So we're just going to sit up here on the cliff top and have ourselves a bit of a picnic. It's not really a picnic, it's only a carrot. And then we might head back. So what have we done now? 6.8 kilometres, almost 7 kilometres one way. So it's taken us 2 hours to do the 7k we're going fairly slow going, a lot of sightseeing along the way. So we should be able to get back in an hour and 3/4 or something like that. But it's really pretty here. This is gorgeous. I'll put you back into the wind and show you Whalebone Beach. Well, we're only about a kilometre from the entry to the inlet, and then it's about another 1.5 kilometres back to the car park. But this is so beautiful here. Little bit down on the beach. We just follow the coast, or follow the beach along now for about 1 kilometre, and we're getting close. 10.8 kilometres to here. So yeah, we've got about 2 to go. 2 to go before we're home. Great walk. So we made it just, was it 13.8 kilometres?
3 million fly bites.
It's a lot of marsh flies. So if you do the walk, make sure you take your DEET with you because they're quite ferocious. But it was a beautiful walk, absolutely stunning. For us, the last 3 kilometres pushing back into a really strong easterly breeze back along the soft sand took its toll. So we're knackered, absolutely knackered. Cannot wait to get back to camp and have a cup of tea. I'd love a beer, but a cuppa sounds great. How you going?
I'll go beer. I just want to get back and put some stuff on these bites.
I'll go your halves in a beer while we're waiting for the kettle to boil. How about that? Alrighty, that's a great walk. So that is from Hammersley Inlet through to Whalebone Beach. Just on 14 kilometres return. Big walk.
Big walk.
Make sure it's a nice cool day if you do it because there's no shade. It's you're in the sun the whole way, so don't do it on a hot day. You'll be exhausted. Okay, let's go. Head home. Okay, we've been waiting for this moment. We've been hunting and hunting and hunting, try and find a little pygmy possum.
Very exciting.
And we finally found one hiding here in the solar panel pack. So I'll lift it up. There he is. You see him in there?
It's okay, little guy.
We don't want to squash you. Let's see if we can get him.
Oh, hello. How exciting.
Oh. Okay,
Where'd he go?
under the cushion. We're at the East Mount Barren Lookout, I suppose. Not really a lookout. It's a little path, I'll show you.
Said look out.
Did it? Oh, there we go. So it is a lookout. It's East Mount Barren, you can see up there behind us. But we're just here for the sunset this afternoon. Looking out to the west and out towards West Mount Barren. As the sun dips below, or it's slowly making its way down below the hills. Beautiful, tranquil spot. How's your vino?
Okay.
We caught a squid today. So we've got Exmouth
Mackie.
Spanish mackerel, Exmouth Spanish mackerel, and Hopeton squid. Those two are a long way apart, aren't they? So only one squid. We're very disappointed. We thought we'd have a big plate of calamari, but yeah, one little tiny squid. So, but that'll do. We'll mix that in with the mackie, and it should be beautiful. But speaking of beautiful, this is just stunning here. A lovely spot.
We've got a long time to wait.
No, it'll go down quickly. Sun is just going down now behind the mountains. It is beautiful up here. So if you're ever here at the 4 Mile campground in the Fitzgerald River National Park, make sure you come up to the Mount Barren Lookout for sunset because wow, it's just so pretty. Okay, I've got a hot tip for you. If you're coming to Western Australia and you're staying in the national parks, chances are that there'll be a camp host at most of the campsites, and they're the people that look after all the amenities around, keep things nice and tidy for you. And there's also a very strong possibility that it's going to have drop dunnies. And now I want to show you something that's going to help you and the poor old camp host. Have a look at this. So this is the instructions. Lift the lid, wet the inside of the bowl with the brush. I cannot stress how important that is. It's going to make your life and the poor old camp host's life a lot easier. So get the bucket, dip the brush in the bucket and wet the bowl. Just like the sign says. I can guarantee you we will all love you just that little bit more if you do that. It is a beautiful morning this morning. We're getting towards the end of our stay. We've only got another 4 days to go and we're on our way. But I decided to get up early and come up to Cave Point and just put the drone up and get a bit of footage. But in doing that, the drive out this morning was spectacular. So if you're here at the park, do yourself a favour, get up early one morning and go for a drive. Like, I'm talking real early, 6:30, something like that, because the colours with the sun coming up are just spectacular. That's West Beach down there. I'll just go for a walk up here to the tip of the point and just see how windy it is. And if it's not too bad, I'll put the drone up and see if we can get some footage of the cave. Gorgeous day. I showed you before the footage of the little pygmy possum, which was just so cute. But there's another little possum that we've seen quite a few times, and it's a honey possum. And there's a lookout, it's only about 1.5 kilometres from the campground. It's called Barren Lookout. It's on the way up to the East Mount Barren hiking spot. And we go up there in the afternoons, about 5:30 in the afternoon, and the little possums, little honey possums, are in there foraging around. We've seen them. Most afternoons we've been up there. I'd say at least sort of 8 out of 10 times we've spotted them up there. They're really cute, and I've got some footage and I'll stick that in and show you. The other thing is the bird life in this park is amazing. It is just incredible. It's just this continual chorus of birds. Only problem being they start about 4:30 in the morning. I've got to have a word to them about that, see if they can back that off a little bit. And if you're into bird watching, there are so many opportunities here. It is just fantastic. And I'll stick some photos in for you to have a look at some of the birds that we've seen just around the caravan here. It is absolutely beautiful. There's also kangaroos, like our mate in the bush here. Heaps of kangaroos there around the campsites at night time. They do get into the rubbish a bit, so if you're here camping, make sure you put your rubbish away and don't leave your food on the table. They'll be into that as well. I've seen an echidna while I've been here, and we've seen some goannas and the snakes, which I showed you before. There's quite a few of those. But the place is certainly a biodiverse hotspot. It is just gorgeous here, and if you come down and have a visit, I'm sure you'll agree. In our constant battle to reduce weight, we've come across these little babies. So they're called the standard squeeze, and they're just basically a plastic bottle, and we decant our rum and gin into them. They hold 750 mils, and of course then you're not carrying around a heavy old bottle, and the best thing is if they fall off the shelf or whatever, they're not going to shatter and make a mess everywhere. It's just like, I'm sure the guys have seen these for doing fertilizer or pesticides or something like that. You just squeeze the container, loosen the lid up here, squeeze the container, and it fills up the measurement just there, and that gives you the perfect 30 mil measurement. So you'll need 3 or 4 of those per glassful.
No, responsible service of alcohol.
So the standard squeeze, yeah, they're nice and light and basically indestructible. They won't break if they fall over or fall out of the cupboard, and a great option carrying bottles of spirits around. So I'm going to wrap it up there. That should give you a really good idea of what's on offer here in the Fitzgerald National Park. It is a lovely place, and I mentioned before, wildfowl season apparently is spectacular here, so September, October is meant to be amazing. But if you're in this part of the world, southwestern corner of Western Australia, well, it's not really the southwestern corner, on the south coast pretty much, but it's certainly worth a visit on the way to Esperance, or if you're coming from the east after you left, or if you're coming from the east after you've left Esperance heading west, stop in here for a couple of days. You only need a couple of days. I'd say 3 days max is enough to have a really good look around. But it's a great spot. So for us, we're heading into Esperance for a couple of days just to restock, then across the Nullarbor and into South Australia, and we've got a month to kill in South Oz before we get on the ferry heading across to Tassie in March, which we're really looking forward to. So I hope you'll join us for our next adventure, and that'll probably be somewhere in South Australia. Thanks for joining us. Catch you later. Just one more thing before I forget. To everyone that sent us in a comment, thank you very, very much. There were some wonderful comments in there, and it's really heartwarming. So we really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below. We'll answer every one that we can. We really like to answer some questions. So if you've got any queries or questions, stick them in the comments. We'll get back to you.
I found that photo in the sofa, and it's from way back in '01. So I guess there's much I never told you, like who I am, who I love, where I've been and where I came from. Grew up on 913 of Blue Rock, memories of 6 kids running around those halls. Then out in the California sunshine, we wore no shoes through alley-oops and shattered windows throwing